Well, the less mild weather has subsided and we've now got 4 beautiful winter sunny days ahead of us. As you can see, I've got my main roof on now. I found a caravan place that sells caravans but also has a large range of second-hand caravan materials. You name it, they've got everything. And they had this sort of basement, a box full of all these caravan siding, roofing metal sheets, which is a very lightweight sheet metal. And I thought, well, that's perfect. It's flat. It's got a little bit of bump and groove pattern to it, but generally it's a flat material. And it ended up being perfect, so I got plenty of sheets of that. And I got 2 extra sheets which were a different surface. They've got a number one, they're white, whereas the others are sort of a greyish colour. But I grabbed these 2 extra sheets because they've got a stucco surface finish, whereas the other ones are smooth. And I'm just toying with the idea whether or not to do the roofing on the skylight here and the sides with that white stucco, or do I go with the same sheeting, same colour all the way around? I'm really not sure yet. Other than that, I picked up a couple of vents, simple just one-way air vents, only about 6 inches, 7 inches in diameter, which would just basically cut a straight circle hole, just a circle hole each, with a bit of aluminium fly screen on first and then screw them down. And they're just a permanent vent that will always just draw air out of the caravan, but not so much that it will constantly be cold, because once you get the wood fire in here, you're going to be wanting to tone down that wood fire in such a small space. Also, I picked up 4 of these narrow caravan windows in their frame. They're a little bit wide at the moment. I'm going to attempt to cut these down in width by cutting the frame and cutting the glass and putting them back together to fit my little holes up there. They're not as long as what I would have liked. I've got 1 metre length spaces up there, but I'll infill that now, and these are around about 800mm. And so there'll basically be 4 of these up there, 2 over the bedroom and 2 over the main living area, and they'll be sealed off. It's just a light window, that's all, just to provide a little bit of light from up there. And as you can see from this sun coming right through one of the spaces right now, it'll work as a reasonably decent skylight. So that's where I'm at. I'll be playing around with these. They do have a lip around them. As you can see, it's about a 10mm lip. That's why I'm going to put metal on the side, the flat metal, so that I can insert these into the timber space and they'll sit within the frame, making for a better seal. I was initially going to use some of my siding board there, but it's 7.5 or 8mm thick. And by the time I poked this in, none of this would have made purchase onto the timber jam or the timber frame. So with the flat metal I can do that. And pretty soon I'll have this very long roofing process done. I've held off putting in my back wall and my front wall just so I can get easy access in here. It's all braced off, so it's not moving anyway. And once I've got all this roofing done, sealed, I've got all protection over top of me, and then I'll be able to come back and work on the walls and start cladding. It's coming along, albeit very slowly. the final solution of my Mollicroft windows. As you've seen, I've cut down old caravan windows into the narrower dimensions that I need. Basically, here's an old caravan window. You can see how wide it is compared to that. And these particular windows have a rounded wide section at the top and a smaller square section at the bottom. So I went out back to the caravan place and I bought a few more of their busted ones. The glass is no good to me because that's why they're all taped up. There's cracks in the glass, so I've just taken them apart and I've utilised the spare top rounded wider sections and put them on the bottom of my new ones. So I get rounded here and I get rounded there, rounded here, rounded there, and the width of this lip gives me plenty of purchase. So this part sits inside the timber cutouts and these just hit the outside metal. I won't be using glass. When I went to the caravan place, they insisted that I use Perspex. No one uses glass anymore. It moves and it cracks, you got to replace it, which makes sense. So I went and got some 3mm Perspex on the way home. I wanted a tinted one, but I could not find a tinted one in 2 places. So it's just clear Perspex and it'll serve its purpose as a light window. Who would have thought that I would have been talking about Mollicrofts in my life? Never knew the word until several days ago.